Throughout the course of One Piece, we've seen countless moves from Luffy. Many of these are iconic. For example, the classic Gum Gum Pistol and Gum Gum Bazooka. But you could also say stuff like Gears 2, 3, 4, and 5 are iconic now. However, within the 1,000 plus episodes, we see a lot of these moves happen only once or twice, and that's it. So it's very easy to forget about them. Even the creator of One Piece, Oda Ichiro, has said that he sometimes has to look up certain moves because he can't remember them. So that tells you right there how many different moves Luffy has used. But we can cut Oda some slack because when you have written over 1,000 episodes of a show, you're bound to forget some things. But today I'm going over 10 moves Luffy has either forgotten about or only used once. And if you want to see part 2 of this in the future, make sure to drop a like on this video. Anyways, now let's get into number 1. Gum Gum UFO. This is a move that we saw in the Punk Hazard arc. And like many of the other moves I'll be talking about today, it's only been used once. Which I don't really understand why. Because Gum Gum UFO allows Luffy to fly. He stretches out his leg and wraps it around something. Then he releases his leg and uses that built up energy as like a whip. And all that energy whips his entire lower half around and allows him to fly like a helicopter. I mean, this move is ridiculous. But there's even crazier moves coming up later in the video. Number 2, Gum Gum Fireworks. Just like Gum Gum UFO, this move has only been seen once in the anime. And Luffy uses it when the Straw Hats first arrive in Skypiea. The White Berets attack the Straw Hats, so Luffy has to come up with a way to defend themselves. He spins his arms and legs in separate directions and gains a tremendous amount of speed, which then turns into like a ball. And after that, flying fists and feet go everywhere, knocking out anybody in the vicinity. It's a pretty cool move, and honestly, in like Gear 2 form or something, this would look pretty cool. That leads us into number 3, Gum Gum Giant Gavel. This is a move that Luffy uses very early on in the series, and it's the final move that defeats Don Krieg at the Baratier. In Gum Gum Giant Gavel, Luffy grabs onto the person's neck with his feet, and then starts spinning around to make like a coil effect, stretching out his legs to build up energy. Then he starts spinning his legs, and Don Krieg is like in a tornado. All while he's doing that, he slams him down onto the ground. I'm not sure why he doesn't use this move more often. But anyways, number 4, Gum Gum Days. Gum Gum Days is seen in the fight between Luffy and Inaru. Inaru is able to use haki and predict Luffy's moves. So in order to counter this, Luffy abandons all thought processes in his brain and relies on instinct to dodge Inaru's attacks. This is like a very early on usage of observation haki for Luffy, and it also makes for a pretty funny face. I doubt we'll ever see this move again because Luffy knows all 3 types of haki now, but who knows. Number 5, Gum Gum Munch Munch. When the Straw Hats are in Alabasta fighting Crocodile, Luffy uses the move Gum Gum Munch Munch, where he attempts to make his mouth as big as possible and fit Crocodile's entire body in his mouth. And it actually worked for a few seconds, but Luffy's jaw wasn't strong enough and Crocodile just came right out of it. I guess this is kind of a move that we see every time he eats a big chunk of meat, but instead he just tried it out on a person. A lot of you guys watching this video aren't subscribed, and it would mean a lot if you just hit that subscribe button, and you'll get to see a bunch more One Piece content. Number 6, Gum Gum Ally Robot. Gum Gum Ally Robot is seen in the Enies Lobby arc. The Straw Hats first arrive at Enies Lobby to save Robin, and Luffy is confronted by a bunch of Marines. In this movie, he takes a hostage Marine and wraps himself around him. That way he could control the Marine like a robot. This stopped the other Marines from attacking him because they didn't want to hurt their own, and it allowed Luffy to defeat them with ease. Once again, this is a move that we only see one time, but there are plenty of other situations where Luffy could have used this and it would have been actually very helpful. And that's the thing with a lot of these moves. Luffy could use them more often, or he just doesn't want them to be a main move that Luffy uses. But these techniques are good. Anyways, number 7, Gum Gum Shotgun. Just like Gum Gum Munch Munch, this is when Luffy is fighting Crocodile the second time, and this is basically a fake Gum Gum pistol. Luffy acts like he's throwing Gum Gum pistol, and while his fist is going towards his opponent, he fakes it out and says Gum Gum Shotgun. He then hits his arm to make it wobble. That way it seems like there are multiple fists coming at his opponent. In my eyes, this is almost like a single arm Gum Gum Gatling, and it makes his Gum Gum pistol so much more powerful. So why does he never use it again? I don't get it. Other moves like Gum Gum Days and Ally Robot make sense if they're never used again, but this one could easily be a technique that Luffy uses often. Piggybacking off of number 7, number 8 is Water Luffy. Now this is more of a form than a technique, but it's still against Crocodile in the same fight that Gum Gum Shotgun is used. Luffy's new tactic to beat Crocodile once he figured out that he's weak to liquid was to douse himself with water. So he shows up to the fight with a big water barrel, but he then ditches the water barrel and drinks all of the water, becoming Water Luffy, which is just a big, fat, blubby version of Luffy. And he even springs a couple leaks. I don't know how this is possible, but he was leaking water through his stomach. Now, this is obviously something that we will probably never see again, or it could be something Oda forgot about. I kind of doubt it, though. Number 9, Gum Gum Jet Human Shield. This is the first move that includes one of his gears, which is kind of interesting. All of his gear moves, which they are piggybacked off of his normal moves, there's not really any like these ones where they only are used once. But Gum Gum Jet Human Shield was used at the Battle of Marineford when Luffy was confronted by Mihawk. Luffy grabs Buggy and uses him as a human shield against Mihawk, so he's able to dodge Mihawk's attacks and just have Buggy take all the hits. If Luffy and Buggy ever reunite again, maybe we get to see this move, but like the rest of these, I think this is a one-time thing. And that leads us to number 10, Gum Gum Eater. Similar to Gum Gum Munch Munch, but this is with something else. We see this countless times throughout the series, but there's only one time that Luffy calls this move out, and that is after the Punk Hazard arc when the Straw Hats are partying. Luffy's about to go ham on Sanji's feast that he prepared, and he says, now time for Gum Gum Eater, and then starts eating a bunch of food. Like I said, we see Luffy eat a bunch of food countless times throughout the series, but this is the only time he said it as like a fighting move. Which forgotten Luffy technique was your favorite? Comment down below, also subscribe. Anyways, peace out.